Yo, what up? This is Darling Cool for alldayplay.fm. I think the DJ culture is at a really pivotal point. I think there's so many people of different influences and backgrounds and cultures that are arising in the scene, and I love to see that. I love to see all of the, I'm a Black woman that plays electronic house music, and I love to see more and more and more Black folks holding space in something that belongs to us and just kind of taking their space in the scene, because that space was created by them, so it is for them. And so I'm just overwhelmed with joy to see all of the differences that are being created in the scene and all of the newness and freshness that's coming about. So when I'm DJing out, I think there's such a massive difference between open format and kind of genre specific. It's really hard. I kind of like them both for different reasons. I think I like genre specific parties because you can really go deep in something, especially when you're playing music that has really great melodic sound and kind of dance music. You can kind of take it down a vibe and you can sort of expect that the crowd will be moving along with you and kind of on board. They kind of know what's going to be up, right? But then when you're playing open format, that's incredible too, because you get the opportunity to kind of go to all these different places and you're sort of taking the crowd on a journey that maybe they didn't expect. And I think as a DJ, you also kind of get to show people how your mind works a little bit more. And so I feel like I kind of like them both equally for different reasons. Yeah, I play them both all the time, so yeah. There is a beauty though to being that kind of shadowy figure that people are still trying to like decipher. Like there's a mystique to being the person who is laying the tracks in the club, and people are so immersed in the music that it takes them a second to turn around and say, wait, who's playing this, right? Because most of the time, especially when you're rising up in DJing, like I'm so much newer in the scene, and it's been incredible. It's such a beautiful, like rich community here in the Bay Area on the West Coast, like such a big family, all of us coming together and supporting each other. But when people don't know who you are and you're playing a place for the first time, you want people to be mesmerized by the music, not so much mesmerized by you. And then once they get captured by the music, they come and they say, who is that person that's playing this? And then you gain folks along the way. So I think like the shadowy mystique is kind of sometimes what is missing about things. It's like so much, kind of like my tagline in a thing. I say, do it from love, not for love. I think so much of the culture, on the flip side to the question that you just asked, was about, is so much about kind of like individualistic nature and individuality, and from a negative perspective, and like trying to get people to recognize you and, you know, all of those things. And so I think at the end of the day, the most important thing that we do is play music and make music and share music. And I think that the shadowy figure helps us do that a little bit more intentionally. My favorite time to play at a party is every time. It's a blessing to wake up every day and breathe and be able to play music. If it's at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, prime set, peak, I think as I'm coming up and learning more and sort of like getting all of the hours in that I can to just be a better and better DJ, playing all of those different slots is so important, because you literally catch a different vibe with every single one, and you learn so much, not only about how to move a crowd, but you learn so much about yourself. You learn about what you like, what you love, how to change things up in the moment. And I think that that's what makes great DJs good, is that having that versatility. So for me, it's just like, I just want to play it. Like anytime, hey, I'm good with it. You know what I mean? I think that can be so much like crabs in a bucket, like, okay, I'm trying to go on headline, you know? And it's like, at the end of the day, being able to come and open a party is just as difficult as being able to shut it down, because you have to set the tone. And I think a lot of people sometimes don't see it from that perspective. But for me, it's like playing in general. That's what I love, so. Ooh, do I like to go B2B or solo? Gosh, this is difficult. Okay, my answer is I love solo sets. I love being able to just get into my bag and do my thing and be all in the mind of Darling Cool. And I love back-to-back sets with people who I know that I have like a really good time playing with. Like I play back-to-back with Jug and Sheeto from Bussdown Collective. I play back-to-back with Amel at Butter. I think over time, when you are such good friends with people and you both have like the same but different styles, playing back-to-back is so fun. I think playing back-to-back with folks that you don't know that have totally different musical styles than you is extremely difficult. It's a good exercise though. It's a good, you know, like, it's a good way to keep your stamina and kind of like work your skills, but I definitely would say I prefer playing solo over back to back. But if I'm with my friends, I'm like, let's plug in and get it going. So my approach to DJing is really driven, I think, by my roots and just my culture. My dad was an amazing musician. He actually passed in 2020. And we had such a bond and connection over music. He was a bassist. And so I think for me, I approach everything that I do from DJing, music making, I'm getting into music production, just anything that has a bass line to it, it just grabs me for some reason. It grabs my spirit. And so I think for me, I approach so much of what I do from the things that I gain from, you know, from my parents who were lovers of music. Like I said, my dad was a bassist. He played in a rock punk band in the 80s in LA. The first band that he ever started, the name of that band was Darling Cool. So that's why my name is Darling Cool. So I actually got that name from him. And when he passed, I reached out to the former band members and they honored me that name. So it's such an incredible honor to have that name as my DJ name. And my mom was actually a rock photographer in the 80s. And so she was in the pit, like taking pictures and just so consumed. So I was always a part of so many different kinds of music, rock, house, hip hop, R&B, like it was just like a hodgepodge of all of these things. So for me, I approach it from really what my family gave to me and also just what like I feel in my spirit when I hear music and I hear it and I feel it in my spirit. I'm like, okay, I want to go and play that. And I have such a like deep appreciation for all of the folks that have come before me. And so I feel like not only am I honoring my dad, I'm just honoring all the amazing people who have brought me on this journey and taught me so many things. And I think that like, I kind of treat this place like ducks of honor, you know what I mean? It's such a privilege to hop on and do the thing. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it all comes from for me and where I find my inspiration. So do I like remixes or originals better? Dang! Okay, this is my for reals answer. Both. Like, it's so hard because it's like, I want to say both. I really want to say both. I play a lot of edits and remixes. I love them. I love so many originals too. Like, I do think that it's really important to go back to original music a lot. I think like the culture in the scene now is all like, oh, what's the hottest remix? What's the hottest edit? And that's amazing, love it. I was in a production class recently and the teacher was like, love edits and remixes, love it. But if there's 700,208 edits of that song already, maybe you don't need to add another one unless you think it's really, really good. You know what I mean? I think that like edits and remixes can really convolute the like original sound of a track. And I think it's beautiful to see people's visions and ideas for how they want to remix a song or change it up. And at the same time, I think there's a lot of stuff out there that just gets so far removed from like the original intention of the music. I think a lot about that. Even when I hear edits and remixes, I'm just kind of like, oh great, what was the feeling that I had when I listened to the original, and then what is the feeling that I get when I listen to the edit and the remix, and is that feeling still to the same degree but in a different way? And I feel like that's kind of how I assess if I like edits and remixes. It's like, if I was rocking with the original and I hear the edit and remix, does it make me feel some kind of way on the same level? If it's like here or here or here, I'm like, you know, maybe it's not really bopping the way that I thought it was, you know what I mean? So I kind of like both, but I really think like you have to be very intentional when you're picking out what edits and remixes you're going to play, and they have to make you feel something. You shouldn't just necessarily play it because it's like the hot thing to do, you know what I mean? I think that there's a balance that needs to be struck between those two things. Who inspired me to get into DJing? Definitely my dad. My dad's passing was really tough for me. And so I think he passed during the pandemic, and during that time I hit like a big low in my life. I was feeling super depressed, and like I actually played instruments growing up. I played clarinet, French horn, guitar, and there was a bout of time during the pandemic where I actually felt like angry when I listened to music. I know that's such a weird thing to say, but it was like, it elicited all of these feelings of sort of like sadness and anxiety. And then I started playing my guitar a little bit here and there, and I had a really good friend, shout out to Kieran, he lives in Phoenix, he's a DJ. He's my best friend's husband, and he was like, you should get a DJ controller. Like, I really think that you would be good at it. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? He's like, go to Guitar Center, buy this, this, and this. And I was like, okay. I was like a kid in a candy store, like looking at all the like controllers, and I'm like, which one y'all got that's like $100? Because I ain't got bread like that. I'm gonna need you to like run me the simplest one. Yeah, and I got a controller and really just started using it to heal, using it to find inspiration again, using it to kind of connect through to my dad in a spiritual sense. And then my mom is such a lover of music too, so we started sharing music together, and she was like going through all her old CDs and tapes and letting me like burn them onto my laptop, and just like so much amazing stuff. So definitely my family, and then so many of my friends too. Shout out to Cutso, who was the person who taught me how to DJ, such a Bay Area legend, a dope person. He really instilled in me the kind of the thought process of always being myself, and I really appreciate that. I felt like when I met him, I was like, what lane and what box? And he was like, no box, Madison, like, do you, be who you are. And I think that that was like such an encouraging thing to hear really early on in my career. So, so much love to him for that. And yeah, so many people throughout the Bay Area, like my collective, Bussdown, Jug and Shido, DJ Jambalaya, just amazing guys that I DJ with all the time. We inspire each other. It's amazing watching them. And then of course, Amel and a party called Butter has been such an intense and amazing like motivation for me. And so I love you guys. Thank you for all that you guys do for me. What makes a perfect song to play out for me? That is a hard, how much time we got? No, like I said, the bass lines, like, you know, I think having just like the blood of a bassist in me always makes me gravitate towards stuff that has strong and punchy bass lines. I love to dance, so anything that gets the body moving from a dance music perspective, I think is like perfect to play out. I love really strong vocals. I grew up in church, praise God, so you know, I'm like, if it has that kind of like ethereal sort of like vocal on it that draws you into the spirit of the song, I feel like I'm always so overwhelmed by it on the dance floor, and I want to share it with other people. So I think those are kinds of the elements that make a perfect track to play. And then I'll say also too, I think it's just stuff, the best moments that I've had DJing have not been like the tracks that are super hot right now or all of that. It's been like something totally left field that is like in a set and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go there. And like people are like, what? Like, I love that song. Like, I grew up listening to a ton of like classic rock, punk, and emo music. So I might be doing like a house set or even hip hop set, and then all of a sudden, bam, I just throw like some My Chemical Romance or something wild in there, and people are just like, oh, that's my song. Like, there's so many, it's like if you feel it, somebody else will feel it. But at the end of the day, like, you kind of just have to strike that balance between what you feel and just knowing and trusting that somebody else will feel it too. And it only takes one person, right? There's like that concept where the first follower, you have that one person that hits the dance floor and they're jiving to you, and then other people kind of follow them. And so, yeah, I think if it makes you dance and if it makes you feel something, it's the perfect track to play. Hey, it's Darling Cool coming to you live from Oakland. I'm gonna be playing some house music, some deep house, some deep tech. Yeah, just a little bit of stuff to get your body moving, and hope you like it. Yo, this is Darling Cool for ADP.fm.